Today, I'd like to talk about a subject that has been circulating my life lately, as far as the conversations that I have with people, and that is responsibility and sense of purpose. I had already recorded this video once before, outdoors, and it was too windy. The audio just wasn't working. I've been postponing shooting this video again because I have other responsibilities. Also, to be completely honest, I'm just unsure about the direction these videos are heading in, but the important thing is for me to just get the message out there regardless of what's going on in my life. So, a little bit about me, the things that sort of shaped my point of view now. As a kid, I was very, very soft. I was kind of lazy, a crybaby, super sensitive. I was an easy target. Because I experienced bullying and getting picked on, feeling out of sorts, yada yada, I would blame the world for my shortcomings. If I wasn't doing well in school, it's just because I didn't feel like it, because oh, life is so hard, without realizing that the reason why I wasn't doing well in school is because I don't really like school. So at some point in time, after many, many years, I started taking responsibility for my actions, for my emotions, for my shortcomings, and for my personal well-being. So my life got to a boiling point and I needed to make a drastic change. And I've done that a couple of times when I moved to California because I was avoiding my responsibilities at home and then thought, oh, well, if I go somewhere else, then, things will be easier. And in some ways they were, but in a lot of ways, because I had to fend for myself, I didn't quite succeed. I wanted to break certain cycles. I didn't want to be a person like many of the people that I knew growing up who just took advantage of other people. And there's always going to be a give and take amongst any group of people, whether it's your parents with you, you with your siblings, you with friends, you with a partner. There has to be about an equal give and take. Otherwise, people are taking advantage of you or you're taking advantage of them. And I wanted to be more independent. I wanted to not have to resort to taking advantage of people, but I wasn't quite sure how. My parents kind of sheltered me because they saw me as a soft child and they weren't so sure about how it was going to turn out. I wasn't sure either. So they really wanted me to focus on academics because I was good in school, even though I hated school. So I went to college after I graduated because I figured that's what I had to do. If I had to do it again, then I probably wouldn't, but that's not the important thing because it happened and I had to learn from it. I started taking the roads less traveled and I screwed up plenty along the way. But now I am fixing my mistakes, realizing, okay, I had certain circumstances that I had to overcome, and it was up to me whether I overcame them or not. So I stopped blaming anyone else for my shortcomings. Not to say that I don't understand people's role in my life and the things that they did to affect me, but everybody has that, so that's not really an excuse. I began sort of focusing on the fact that I am responsible for myself. I had to begin focusing on me and working on myself, fixing all the shortcomings, the trying to control my emotions, apologizing for my actions, and taking care of myself. So the first step was really focusing on the essentials, which was keeping myself alive, having shelter and food. If I'm not able to be in the game, then how can I play it? So I needed to make sure that I was okay, that I can still survive, that if I'm surviving, then I can work towards thriving. And the second step was working through my issues. I began really analyzing myself, my thoughts, my actions, my emotions. And by doing so, I began to see parallels with other people. So then I began to understand others. And by understanding others, it also helped me understand myself because I really did start seeing things in other people that I criticized that I would do. And I realized that I was being a bit of a hypocrite. So I had to fix that. And it's a work in progress, of course. The third step was really focusing on the things that made me happy and the things that didn't. So when I went to college, I was a fine arts major because I really loved drawing and painting and sculpting and all of that. When I went to San Diego, I went to go study animation. I feel like it was like a 50-50, like 50 me wanting to study animation and the other 50 was just me wanting to get out of my parents' house because I wanted to be independent and I wanted to jump into the deep end without really having proper training, I feel. When I came back from California, I switched my degree to theater because that's what made me happy. And then I started getting involved in filmmaking, and that also made me happy. Just being creative and expressing myself, those were the things that made me happy. And after that, my sense of purpose started becoming more and more clear. As I've stated before, expressing myself was one of the most important things I can do. I believe that there's a reason why I gravitate towards the color blue so much, which is the throat chakra color, because all my life I've been suppressed in what I can and can't say or should and shouldn't say, and I rebelled against that, and that's probably one of the reasons why I like to speak my mind. Maybe in other lives I've been suppressed in that way, and in this life I say, well, I'm going to break that cycle and I'm going to continue expressing myself. There are different ways through which I express myself. I express myself through visual art. I express myself through comedy because I love making people laugh. Through film, through theater, even in these videos, there's a reason why I'm doing them because it's me expressing myself. And the idea is being unafraid of what I say. Obviously, I have to watch how I say it, but the content needs to be as honest as possible, regardless of any repercussions. And there's always going to be repercussions to any action you take. That's part of acceptance. The other thing is I knew I'm on this plane of existence to help others. Ever since I was young, people have always gravitated towards me, and it's just weird because they might not have even known me all that well, but often they would just unload a lot of their emotional baggage on me. I didn't even ask them to do it. They just sort of did it. I feel like a lot of that was they felt secure around me, they felt safe, something about my energy. I didn't know what to do with all these people's emotions. I didn't even know what to do with my own emotions. So once I started adjusting things and finding the balance between being service to self, I figured out a better way to be service to others. I had to detach myself from those emotions. I'll still help them, but sometimes I will just say, I can't do this right now. And if they don't understand that, that's really not on me because it's not fair for me to give more than what I possibly can for somebody who's just expecting more and more and more. So a lot of the times I give tough love. I help people how they need, not how they want. A lot of the times they want me to put an adhesive bandage on something that clearly needs a cast or gauze or something more substantial. So by doing these videos, I am essentially combining the two. I am expressing myself and I am also trying to help others. This isn't a very active, direct sort of approach to helping, but it's something. It's my way of being able to help somebody out. Because if there's somebody on the other side of the world that hears my message and says, you know what, I don't feel so alone and that really helped me, then I've done my job. I'm going to continue creating these videos regardless of what other responsibilities I have in my life because this is a responsibility that I am willing to tackle on. It's important for me. I think it's important for others. And that's what I'm going to continue doing, is trying to help myself, help others, and maybe we'll create a brighter future because of that. So, to recap, just remember to focus on your own paper. Don't be copying off of other people's papers, because their answers might not be the answers that you need. It's good to have a starting off point, but I think by taking responsibility for ourselves, taking risks, understanding that you're the only one that has to live your life. So if you're not being responsible with and for it, then it's sort of squandering opportunities. And this is coming from personal experience. So, yes, even though it's super, super difficult to say, a lot, if not most, of these things in my life are results of my direct actions, then I don't really feel like you can grow. I don't feel like you're really going to understand and know yourself if you don't understand your flaws first. And your sense of purpose not might become as clear, because there's all this other clutter in your mind of blaming others and postponing things that you need to do, things that you need to take care of. Just remember, if you've ever flown on a plane, they tell you in case of an emergency and the oxygen masks come down, you have to secure your mask first before you can help others. If there was a starving person and you gave them all your food and you weren't sure if you were going to get some more food, then what have you really done for yourself? Yes, you've helped somebody else out, but you haven't done anything for yourself. You just kind of screwed yourself over by being responsible for somebody else and not being responsible for yourself. It sounds really harsh and it sounds really cold, but part of life is you need to find the balance between helping yourself, being responsible for yourself, and then taking on the responsibility of others. So thank you for listening. I hope some of this resonates with you, and have a blessed day.